Sorry about that. I had to turn my phone around. Thought it was turned around. Anyway, hello. My name is Sharon Rogers, and I am coming to you from Apache Campground. And Sheila, I am closer to you than I usually am on a Friday night. So I'm so glad that you can join me. I'm going to try to avoid this shadow area right here and have my stamping up here. Might be a little bit awkward for me, but we will get it done. I wonder if I could, oh, I can move it a little bit closer. Let's do that. All right. So tonight, it's Father's Day weekend, and I thought I would dust off my Trusty Tools stamp set in honor of Father's Day. You can see that there is a Happy Father's Day in there. And there's also the word Dad. And not only is this Father's Day weekend, but we are a week away from my husband's birthday, so my kids are going to need something to give him with their present. They don't shop at Hallmark for their cards, they shop at Mommy's Stamp Room. So I thought I'd do a couple things for them. This also would be a great set if you have, like I do, I actually oversee the facility at the church that I work for, and we have some handy guys that help out a lot, and so this is great to send notes of appreciation to them as well. Oh, let's see this. Let me try to get the glare off of that so you can see it a little bit better. So there's, a pencil, and this is a two-step stamp set, so this fills in the hammer's handle, and this fills in the wrench's handle, paintbrush. Here's paint tip. We're going to use this tonight. This obviously goes with the tape measure. And then not only will we be using that, well, I got a full disclosure. I had planned to use these things tonight, these dies, and look at how large this die set is. But this is what I brought for plates. I brought my number 1 plate and my number 2 plate, and I brought a number 3 plate. All great, right? Except for you need 2 number 3 plates, and they're clear. I didn't realize I didn't have 2 of them. So fortunately, I had the forethought to do some stuff in advance. Phew, I can make this card start to finish without actually doing the die cutting. I'll show you what I did though. So the first thing I did was I took a piece of basic white cardstock, and this is 4 by 5 1/4, and you don't have to write down any measurements if you want to, well, unless you want to do it between now and Monday, but Monday I will have the tutorial in my Monday email. So that goes out every Monday and has the tutorial for Friday Night Live in it. And then I took this die, and this represents pegboard where you hang your tools. So I centered this on here. I used a little bit of tape to hold it down, and to make sure that it was straight, I looked at these edges here, and I made sure that they were perfectly parallel. And then I just taped it down and ran it through my embossing machine. And when I ran it through a little bit at an angle, because this is a very hard edge, and you want it to kind of gradually ease on. That's a little bit safer for your machine. And so when I did that, look, I got this, which is so cool. It's got that little pegboard look right there. I love it. All right, and so then, well, we have to have things to hang on our pegboard, and so while I had my die cutting machine out, I thought I would get my stamps out, and I got my paint brushes out. So let's see, I took the paintbrush outline, and I stamped that 3 times in Memento ink, Memento Tuxedo Black. And this table is gonna wiggle everything just because it's a camping table. It's not my stamp table. So I did one, and then I did another, and then I did a third. Now when I'm camping, I decided to get out my little teeny tiny, I just cut down one of the chamois, and so this is just a little teeny tiny one, so I can clean it on the go pretty easily. I can also take it out and wipe it like that. Then I'll put that away. So it is the first camping weekend. We don't go very far from home on the first one, just in case, you know, and we did forget a bunch of things, but we had my son with us and we took him home because he doesn't want to stay overnight in the camper. So we took him home. He came up for a short little bit, and that was nice. But it's also nice to have him go, if you know what I mean. I know that sounds terrible, but it's true. He's not a lot of fun sometimes. All right, so now I'm stamping in gray granite my handles. And under this light, it looks a little green, but it's not green at all. It's gray. And I'm stamping at an angle, so I'm going to be off a little bit. But it's okay because I did them ahead of time. And they came out, oops, pretty good ahead of time. All right, there we go. So we have our handles, and you could, of course, paint them a wood color. They do come in all sorts of colors these days. They come in grays and they come in browns if they're wood. And then I decided, what color paint do I want? So Dad has 3 letters, so I chose 3 colors. I chose Poppy Parade, Lost Lagoon, and Basic Gray. And that's what we're going to spell Dad out with, but it's also going to be the paint tip colors. So let me get in your stamp set, there's this little image right here, and that's the paint tip. It's part of the brush that gets the paint on it. And I don't know about you, but when I paint, that is not what gets on my brush. I go a little bit deeper, and I try not to, but you know, sometimes just can't help it. So there's one edge that's a little bit straighter than the other, and so that's going to be the one that goes towards the tip of the bristles. So there we've got our Poppy Parade. Close this up. I'll use that again in a second. And I've got my Lost Lagoon, which I just inked up last night, so it might still be a little wet. Okay, there's my Lost Lagoon. I really love these 3 colors together. If you're ever stuck for a color combination, you can use the color wheel. We do sell it, but it also is in your catalog. If you don't have a catalog, I'd be happy to give you one. Just let me know, stamperhood@gmail.com. They are complimentary to people who have ordered from me within the past 6 months, and otherwise I will send it to you for $5 to cover the cost of shipping and handling, but I'll also give you $5 in Stampin' Rewards to offset that. Okay, so here we have our paintbrushes, and so then I just got out the, let's see, where is it? I got out the paintbrush die, and I just die cut those. And by the magic of camping, I have some paintbrushes. I only have 2. Wait, I'm supposed to have 3. Oh no. Let's see. Well, I know the 3rd one's got to be in here somewhere. Let's see. It's not in that box. Let's see if we can find it. It's not there. Let's see if it's under some stuff. Not under that. I'm going to pick up the tripod. Oops, not under there. Oh, goodness. I don't know where the 3rd one is. Uh-oh. I think we're going to have to punt a little bit and see what we can do as an alternative. And you know what that means. I'm going to have to fussy cut one of these, and it looks like it's the Lost Lagoon one. And you know what's going to happen. I am going to find this the second I have this fussy cut. But again, this shows you that you don't need to have the dies. You can just fussy cut. And it's not a hard fussy cut around most of the things that are in this particular die set. Of course, you can't fussy cut the pegboard. That wouldn't work out too well. But this, we're going to make work. And this looks like it's got to be a little bit of wavy. There we go. Not bad. Not bad. Better than not having a piece, right? When we need it. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and bring back this. And, oops. Oh, goodness, what happened to my... All right, what happened to my... There we go. Sorry about that. My poor Archon phone stand is seeing some better days. All right, I'm going to take now the You're the Most Awesome. And we're going to take the Poppy Parade. And we're going to stamp that right up here at the top. I'm going to hope that's straight. I can't see over it. That's not bad. Not bad at all. So let's go ahead and clean that. I'll put that away. Squeak, squeak, squeak. What did everybody do today? Or does anybody have lots of plans for the weekend? I have only plans to relax. Well, I do have to work on Sunday, but then I relax Sunday afternoon. Okay, and so now I want to write Dad down here. So I'm going to get my Dad out. Now the problem with, I can't get this in 3 colors using 8 pads. I mean, I could if I masked a lot, but I'm not going to do that. So what I decided to do was bring in my markers that are in the same colors as I stamped in. So we've got Poppy Parade for the first D, and then we'll do the Lost Lagoon in the middle, and the basic gray on the other D at the end. And I chose this arrangement because these two are pretty strong colors, and this was a little bit less strong, so I thought that would look better in the middle. And because this is photopolymer, you're not going to get as clean and crisp an image, and that's okay, because if you think about painting, well, I don't know how you paint, but I don't paint very well, so it's going to come out just fine. Now you can do all the letters at once, or you can do them one at a time. I'm going to do them all at once, which means the ink is going to dry a little bit on here, and that's okay. And then we've got the A for Dad. You can almost see it pooling up over there a little bit as it's drying. Okay, DA. It definitely, if this was red rubber, it would definitely give a better image markering. Just got to make sure your expectations are appropriate. And I've already told you this isn't going to be the cleanest, crispest. That doesn't even sound right. So I'm going to re-moisten this by breathing on it. And we're going to hope for the best. Oh, I put them in the wrong order. That's all right. Guess it doesn't really matter, does it? All right, so we've got DAD. It's kind of funky looking, but it's actually kind of interesting. Now, if you wanted to, you could certainly fill it in with the marker, make it a little bit better, or at the very least, just draw the outline. And that's another good use of your marker. So there's my Poppy Parade one. And here's my Lost Lagoon. Oh, I hear a car. I think somebody else is arriving at the campground tonight. It's funny, I called a few weeks ago to reserve this spot, knowing that, oh no, I'm really kind of late reserving it. And we got our usual, oh, she said, oh, we've got one spot by the water left. And it was one we hadn't had before, but I knew it would be okay because it's near the water. And we got here and they didn't have our name down at all. But they said, oh, it's a quiet weekend. It's all open down there. Pick what you want. I'm like, all open. They told me it was full. Anyway, so there we've got Dad. Now, I thought, because paint drips and stuff, I thought what I might do is I might bring in my Latte Love and these little coffee splatters. I'm going to use that as paint splatters. There are several sets over the years that have had little splattery things on it. You could also use a paintbrush with a little bit of water and splatter yourself, but we're going to use this. Oh, Sheila's going to go see baby goats at the Cumberland Sunflower Farm. Oh, that sounds like fun. Baby goats are cute. Even cuter if they're fainting goats, but they're probably not. Now, I don't want this big one because I think that splatter's a little bit too large. So I'm just going to try to get the edges here, just the little ones. And so let's go ahead and kind of splatter. So I just kind of, it almost looks like blood. Let me put another one up here. Okay. All right. So we've got some paint splatter there. And then we're going to clean off our stamp. And we're going to do the same thing with the Lost Lagoon. Let's do it up a little higher here. All right. And then we'll do a little bit of the same with the basic gray. All right, so it's all kind of messy, just like my painting. Here's a hint. That's how you get out of painting, by being bad at it. All right, let's clean these stamps up. All right, and now we just need to hang our paintbrushes. So let's hang them in the same order here. So we're gonna, do something like this. And then, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's put this one in 5 from the end, so it's a little symmetrical. And then this one can go, I'm just trying to find one of the pegboard holes. Oh, you know what? This one doesn't have a hole in it because, I remember I forgot, and I had to make do. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of these. So I think I just need one there. I happen to have a couple of baby dimensionals here because I had some left over from Paper Pumpkin. So let's go with just a little cockeyed there, just a little bit. And then we'll do the same thing for this one. Got this idea from an artisan, a Stampin' Up! Artisan designer. She did this, something similar to this, way back when this stamp set first came out, a couple years ago. And I loved it, so I cased it. Changed some colors. All right. So there we go. We've got, let's just change the height of that a little bit. There we go. And now we just need to put this on a card base. So I have a card base of basic gray, and this is just going to go on right like that. We'll put some adhesive top and bottom. That should be plenty. There we go. And then for the inside, we just need another piece of white. And let's go ahead and let's stamp Happy Father's Day in there. And I'm going to go with that Poppy Parade again, just to make that really pop. Poppy Parade does pop. Oh, look at that. It's even straight. So we got Happy Father's Day, and we really should. We should put the paintbrush on again, I think. Let's see. Nobody else is chatting with me tonight. How come? It's so much fun when there's a lot of us in different places saying hi and learning about the weather where we are. My friend Reba from Texas, probably trying to stay cool, although this is a little later for her, I think. And although she's earlier than us on time schedule, so maybe not. And then my friend Ruth is in Florida. She's probably in a pool trying to avoid the heat. I don't know what the heat's like, or what the weather's like down there right now. But I know it's probably warmer than it is here right now. It's not very warm here at all. And we got, all right, let's see. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this. And then we're just gonna stamp the red tip again. Poppy Parade. Let's see. Let's get that right down there. Perfect. And I am going to go ahead. I wasn't going to, but I am going to go ahead and fill in the top part of that brush handle. Might as well do it right, right? So we're just going to do this right there. There we go. We'll just add our glue. Just need a thin line. And here's the inside of the card. It coordinates with the outside of the card. Here we go. You're the most awesome dad. Happy Father's Day. And that is what I have for you this Friday Night Live, the first one of the year from a campground. Won't be the last. Thanks for joining me tonight. If you have any questions or you need anything, just let me know and I would be happy to help you out. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend, and I hope you are able to celebrate the wonderful men in your life, whether they are your father, the father of your children, or just great father figures. Happy weekend, everybody.